Let me show you everything that I made for Christmas dinner. I was only cooking for 2 people, so I didn't do anything too crazy. I just made sure that we ate well. And also because I didn't want to be stressed out on Christmas Day, I started prepping everything ahead of time, which actually started 2 days before. The first thing that I tackled was the sorrel, because what's a Jamaican Christmas without a nice glass of cold sorrel? I boiled a pot of water and then I added some grated ginger and pimento seeds, and after that I just rinsed my dried sorrel and added it to the hot water. I gave it a quick stir and then I covered the pot and left it to steep all the way into the next night so all the flavors could really come through. After that, I moved on to seasoning the meats. I started with the pork for my jerk flavored stew pork. Then I seasoned up some goat for the curd goat rasta pasta. I also seasoned up some drumsticks for fried chicken. I used my go-to seasoning on everything, which includes Walker's Wood green seasoning. And then on the pork, I added some Walker's Wood jerk seasoning. Now, once everything was done seasoned, I covered them up and put them in the fridge to marinate. And just like that, that was the end of prepping night 1, and now it's night 2. The first thing that I did was to prepare the drink. The sorrel had been steeping since the night before, so all the flavors from the petals, ginger, and pimento was fully infused into the liquid. I strained it into a large bowl and then I squeezed the solids to get as much liquid as possible. I strained it again through a fine sieve to remove the extra petals and spices, and then after that I sweetened it with some brown sugar and added the rum because sorrel just isn't festive enough without J. Ray and his nephew. And then I bottled it up and put it to refrigerate, but not before pouring myself a small glass to get me through the rest of the night. After making the drink, I moved on to the salads. I kept it really simple with a tossed salad and a potato salad. For the tossed salad, I finally shredded some cabbage by hand. I skipped the grater because I didn't want it to be too fine or mushy. And then I also added some shredded lettuce as well. I used the grater for the apple, carrot, and cucumber. I threw in a few raisins, then I just tossed everything together with a little granulated sugar and apple cider vinegar. And once it was mixed, I covered it and put it in the fridge to chill. For the potato salad, I peeled and diced the potatoes and added them to a pot of salted boiling water, and while those cooked, I chopped up some red and green bell peppers and onions, and once the potatoes were done, I rinsed them under some cold water, then I mixed them with the peppers, onions, canned carrots, and green beans, a little sweet relish, mustard, and mayo, and then I finished it off with some onion powder, paprika, and black pepper, and I gave everything a good mix, covered it up, and put it in the fridge to chill. And that was the end of prep night 2, and now it's on to Christmas Day. I started by browning the pork on both sides for 5 minutes, and then once it had some color, I poured hot water into the dish and marinated the pork in. I added that to the pot, covered it, and then let it cook for about an hour. And then as soon as that was going, I moved straight on to the curried goat for the rasta pasta. I sauteed some chopped onions, garlic, and ginger, then burned the curry powder before adding the seasoned goat. I mixed everything together so it was fully coated in that burnt curry. Then I covered it and let it create its own liquid. After about 10 minutes, I added water from the marinade dish, covered it again, and let it cook low and slow for about 3 hours. I did go in and add water to the pot when necessary. I also prepped some red and green bell peppers along with onions and set those aside for later. The pork is now tender after 1 hour, so I added some bell peppers, carrots, onion, thyme, green seasoning, pork seasoning, and a little extra water. I also threw in a tin of broad beans, gave everything a good stir so they could mix and mingle, and then I covered it and let it simmer for about 20 minutes. After that, it was on to the fried chicken. I dredged the chicken in a seasoned mix of flour and cornstarch, and then I carefully added them to the hot oil. I ensured that the fire was on medium heat because I wanted them to get the perfect golden crisp. After that, it was time to start working on the gungu rice. This part was super easy because I'm using the canned peas, so all I did was pour the liquid from the can, wash the peas, add it to the pot, pour in some coconut milk, bring it to a boil, season the pot, wash the rice, add it to everything, mix it around, cover with a lid, it, ensure the fire is low, and left it to cook. Our pork stew is finally done cooking. I turned the heat off and let it rest, and I also took out the chicken from the oil and put them on some paper towel to drain. So now all that's left to do is make the rasta pasta. So when the curry goat is almost done, I re-seasoned the pot with everything that I prepped before and also added a splash of rum, and I added some penne to a pot of boiling water and started working on the pasta sauce. For the sauce, I used coconut milk and cream cheese as the base. I added in some of that curry gravy and a little mozzarella for extra richness, and then once the pasta was cooked, I mixed it in with the goat. I let everything come together, and then I transferred it to a serving tray and topped it with the rest of the curry goat. And then by then the rice was finished cooking as well. And just like that, Christmas dinner was ready.